I'm Sergeant Deylon Douglass. Welcome to this special edition of the Army South Update. Today, we are in front of Old Brook Army Medical Center, also known as Old BAMC, and current headquarters of U.S. Army South here on historic Fort Sam Houston. Army South bid farewell and welcomed a new commanding general during a change of command ceremony on MacArthur Parade Field on Fort Sam Houston. Army South's Frederick Hoyt tells us more.
The MacArthur Parade Field on historic Fort Sam Houston was the site of a U.S. Army South change of command ceremony. In front of a large crowd of distinguished guests and military personnel, the outgoing commander of Army South, Major General Simeon Trombitis, relinquished his command to incoming commander, Major General Frederick Rudesheim. Hosting the ceremony was the commander of U.S. Southern Command, Air Force General Douglas Frazier. Army South is headquartered at Fort Sam Houston and is one of 5 service component commands under Southcom. Reporting for Army South, I'm Frederick Hoyt.
History is constantly being made here at U.S. Army South. Officers from the El Salvadorian Army met with Army South's former commanding general and staff at Army South's headquarters to discuss current and future strategic operations. Some of the primary objectives of this meeting were the planning and coordination of the 2013 engagement program between the two armies. Next year's round of discussions are scheduled to take place in El Salvador. We will never forget. That is the motto of all POW and MIA service members. Sergeant Robert Quintero takes us to a ceremony honoring Korean War veterans.
To this day, it is known as a forgotten war, but for many Korean War veterans, the notion of forgetting is inconceivable. For the past 62 years, a small group of surviving members have carried memories of horror and heroism from one of the war's most brutal conflicts that is simply known as the Battle of Chosin Reservoir.
Well, the conditions over there involved an enemy who vastly outnumbered us.
They killed 3,000 of us up there, and they wounded over 6,600. But that includes the Army's Regimental Combat Team and the British Royal Marines.
Trapped by an encirclement of 120,000 soldiers from a relentless and unforgiving Chinese army, the 15,000 Allied ground forces known as the Chosen Few, comprised of U.S. soldiers, sailors, and Marines, along with their British counterparts, fought their way through 78 miles of roadblock after roadblock on mountainous terrain and minus 30-degree weather before finally making it to their extraction point in the port city of Hungnam, North Korea.
The Chinese came back in, were replacing the roadblocks, holding the convoy up, and the lorries at different intervals were getting shot up, having to be pushed off the road, set on fire and so forth.
A total of 17 Medals of Honor, 70 Navy Crosses, plus many Distinguished Service Crosses were awarded for the campaign, the most for a single battle in U.S. military history. Reporting for Army South, Sergeant Robert Quintero.
Behind me is one of the oldest and most historic buildings on Joint Base San Antonio. It is listed in the National Register of Historical Places by the U.S. Department of the Interior. Completed in 1937, this historic edifice came to life in the mid-1940s as the home of Army medicine. The building was named after Brigadier General Roger Brooke and is affectionately called Old BAMC. Until 1996, Old BAMC housed the base hospital and medical units. Today, it is the home of U.S. Army South. Former President and native Texan Lyndon B. Johnson once had a private hospital room on the top floor. The new BAMC is now part of the San Antonio Medical Center, located across post in a new state-of-the-art medical facility. That does it for this edition of the Army South Update. Be sure to check out our social media sites at the link below. Also, be sure to check out our quarterly magazine, Defense and Fraternity, which is scheduled to come out later this month. I'm Sergeant Deylon Douglass. Thank you for watching.